The galactic overlords had conquered 1,000 worlds without pause, yet when they turned their eyes to Earth, they mistook humanity's smile for surrender. It was not. It was the grin of wolves watching hunters walk straight into their den. The council chamber of the Overlord High Assembly floated above a gas giant, wrapped in obsidian towers and draped in banners of conquest. Hollow screens displayed Earth, a blue marble, insignificant by the Empire's reckoning. Lord Vadran, one of the Overlord's senior warlords, sneered. His species, the Javok, had eyes like molten iron and a reputation for burning resistance into ash. He tapped a claw against the table. Primitive world. Carbon-based vermin. They fight each other with sticks and rockets, and yet, they refuse tribute. Arrogance. A dozen alien delegates laughed in agreement. Only one voice, deep and gravelly, did not join them. Elder Tsair of the Hreth, an ancient reptilian with scales faded to gray, leaned forward. Mock them if you wish, he murmured, but I've read their broadcasts. Their history is untidy. These humans laugh while bleeding. That unnerves me. The chamber erupted again, this time with ridicule. They are fragile mammals, one ambassador scoffed. Unstable, addicted to toxins. They wage war on each other constantly. Exactly, Tsair said quietly. And somehow, they are still here. The doors hissed open. A single human walked in, unarmed, dressed in a tailored black suit. His stride was steady, his expression polite, his smile almost too casual for a hall full of galactic warlords. Ambassador Marcus Kane, representing Earth, he said cheerfully. Lovely place you have here. Very, Gothic supervillain chic. Vadran narrowed his eyes. Human, you stand before the Council of Overlords. Earth has been targeted for assimilation. You will kneel or burn. Marcus adjusted his tie unbothered. Assimilation. Right. That sounds sufficient. Just one question. When you say kneel, do you mean literally, or is this more of a metaphorical thing? Because my knees aren't what they used to be. Soccer injury. Some delegates chuckled despite themselves. Vadran did not. You mock us? He thundered. Marcus raised his palms. Never. I'm here to listen. It's a human tradition. Hear the offer, nod politely, go home, pretend we'll consider it, then do the exact opposite. We call it diplomacy. The chamber rustled with uneasy murmurs. Elder Tsair studied Marcus closely. Human, do you understand what stands before you? Entire star systems have fallen at this table's decree. Marcus's tone remained light, but his eyes, calm, steady, too steady, met Tsair's without wavering. Oh, I understand perfectly. You've conquered countless worlds. Impressive. Resume. I'm sure they all surrendered after your very persuasive introductions. He leaned forward slightly. But Earth has a habit of making introductions messy. A silence stretched. The Overlords were not used to praise speaking in riddles. Vadran broke it. Enough. The decree is simple. Surrender your planet, disarm, and swear fealty. Refuse, and our fleets will erase every city you hold dear. Your oceans will boil, your skies will burn. Marcus tilted his head, as though considering. That's quite a sales pitch. Very apocalyptic. May I offer feedback? It's a little cliché. We've seen that movie before, usually starring some guy from Texas saving the world with duct tape and a cigar. You might want to freshen it up. Several delegates hissed in confusion at the cultural reference. Tsair frowned, unsettled. Vadran slammed a clawed fist on the table. This is not theater, human. This is the end of your kind. Marcus let the silence linger just long enough to be uncomfortable. Then he smiled again, the same disarming curve of lips he had carried since entering. End of our kind? You'll have to forgive me, but we've heard that before too. Usually from each other. Romans, Mongols, Nazis, take your pick. Fun fact, every one of them thought they were unstoppable. His tone had not sharpened, but something in the room chilled. Even the laughter-prone delegates shifted uneasily. Vadran leaned forward, voice agrowl. You dare compare us to your tribal empires? Oh no, Marcus said pleasantly. They were amateurs. You're professionals. Which makes it even more awkward when professionals underestimate the wrong people. Sayers spoke, low but clear. Human, you gamble with words. Are you truly prepared to see your species erased? Marcus's reply was soft, almost too casual. See, that's the funny thing. Erasure's tricky. We've tried to erase each other for centuries. Never quite sticks. Somehow we bounce back. Stubborn habit. He glanced around the chamber. If you're planning to test that, by all means, bring enough ships. The chamber froze. His tone was friendly, conversational even, but beneath it ran something sharp, like a blade hidden in velvet. Vadran recovered first. He snarled. You will return to your world. 3 cycles. That is all Earth has. After that we come, and you will drown in fire. Marcus rose smoothly. 3 cycles. Generous. We'll pencil it in, right after laundry day. With a slight bow, he turned to leave. Before the doors shut, he looked back once more, his smile intact. Oh, one more thing. You may think you've surrounded us. But space is funny. No matter where you stand, technically, you're always surrounded too. The doors hissed closed behind him. The council chamber erupted. Delegates shouted, some in anger, some in disbelief, some trying to laugh off the human's arrogance. But Eldritch Sayers said nothing. His eyes lingered on the sealed doors, scales tightening with unease. The human had smiled, yes. But in that smile, Sayer thought he saw something ancient, something predatory. Meanwhile, aboard the shuttle drifting back toward Earth, Marcus Kane removed his tie and exhaled. His assistant, a young officer in crisp uniform, looked nervous. Sir, did you mean what you said? About them needing more ships? Marcus's grin returned, faint but dangerous. Of course. Because they'll need every last one. And even then, it still won't be enough. Earth did not behave like a planet under siege. The Overlord fleets loomed above the blue world, their shadows crawling across the atmosphere. But on the surface, humans carried on with baffling nonchalance. Instead of terror, they produced memes. Social feeds filled with jokes. Alien invasion? Sweet, free Wi-Fi from orbit. Another popular image showed a farmer holding a pitchfork with the caption, They may have plasma cannons, but do they have Gary from Iowa? From orbit, alien scouts reported confusion. The pattern was unlike other conquests. Worlds usually pleaded, rioted, or collapsed in despair. Earth responded with sarcasm. Ambassador Marcus Kane, back in Washington, scrolled through a feed on his datapad, shaking his head. We're weeks from annihilation and half the planet is debating whether aliens would enjoy Taco Bell. His aide, Lieutenant Alvarez, smirked nervously. Sir, humor is how people cope. Marcus's eyes gleamed. It's also how we bait hooks. The more ridiculous we look, the deeper they underestimate us. Above Earth, inside the command ship Vadran's Wrath, alien officers reviewed surveillance footage. One played a clip of a late-night comedy host who deadpanned. Breaking news, aliens demand Earth's surrender. In unrelated news, IKEA has released new furniture line. Coincidence? I think not. The officers hissed in confusion. They joke at the edge of extermination. Are they insane? Lord Vadran snarled. They laugh because they are weak. Their denial is camouflage for fear. Yet in the corner, a junior intelligence analyst whispered. Or perhaps it is camouflage for something else. He didn't repeat the thought. Beneath Colorado's mountains, inside NORAD's hardened bunker, preparations hummed with quiet precision. Monitors displayed troop deployments, fleet maneuvers, and coded messages. Generals moved with calm efficiency, as though the galaxy's largest armada weren't orbiting above. Marcus entered the operations center, his tone casual. So, how's the apocalypse coming along? Smooth launch? General Hargrave, broad-shouldered and gruff, glanced up. 2 orbital weapon platforms are online. Drones are active across the belt. Counter-cyber units are ready. Just another Tuesday. Marcus smirked. Perfect. I told them we needed 3 days. They gave us 3 cycles. By my math, that's a few days too many for them. Not all humans were in bunkers. Civilians noticed strange lights streaking across the night sky. Some speculated they were meteors. Others posted shaky phone videos titled, "Proof Aliens Hate Montana." A teenager in Chicago pointed at the stars. "Mom, if aliens attack, who runs the McDonald's?" The mother, without looking up from her phone, said, "Probably still teenagers. Nothing changes." Meanwhile, another diplomatic session convened via Hololink. The Overlords demanded Earth's immediate submission. Marcus appeared again, sipping coffee with exaggerated calm. "You know," he told them, swirling his mug, "this beverage is why you should fear us." A delegate scoffed. "Brown liquid?" "Caffeine," Marcus explained with mock seriousness. "Stimulant. Speeds our hearts, sharpens our thoughts. Highly addictive. We drink it daily. Some of us hourly. You see, we built our civilization fueled by a chemical that mimics combat stress. If you think facing us in war is tough, try cutting us off from coffee." The chamber buzzed with confusion. Some laughed. Others uneasily didn't. Eldritch Sayer muttered, "They normalize poison consumption. Disturbing." Marcus set his mug down. "Anyway, you were saying, total annihilation, surrender, all that?" "Yes, we'll get back to you." Vadran bared his fangs. "Mockery will not save your world. Already, my patrols test your skies." Marcus's eyes flickered briefly, like a shadow passing over sunlight. "Oh, I noticed. Tell me, did your patrol make it back?" The chamber stilled. Vadran's silence answered. Hours earlier, one Overlord patrol had skimmed Earth's atmosphere, intending to intimidate with plasma fire. They did not expect a swarm of satellites, civilian relays, weather stations, innocuous objects, suddenly shifting orbit. In synchronized arcs, the satellites focused beams that sliced through the patrol ship's shielding. To outside eyes, it looked like an accident. To the humans who designed it, it was a warning shot. In orbit, Vadran raged. "They dare!" His officers scrambled. "My lord, the attack was concealed as malfunction. Their defenses are hidden, subtle. Primitive vermin!" Vadran roared. "If they resist again, burn their cities." Yet whispers spread through the fleet. No world had ever destroyed an Overlord patrol before surrendering. On Earth, Marcus convened with military leaders. Alvarez leaned close. "Sir, was it wise to strike so soon?" "They'll retaliate." Marcus's smile never wavered. "Retaliation is part of the script. Let them write the first act in fire. The second act is ours." General Hargrave folded his arms. "And the finale?" Marcus's eyes hardened. "The finale is theirs. Buried under their own arrogance." That night, across Earth, ordinary life persisted strangely intact. Crowds in New York gathered on rooftops to watch alien ships shimmer against the stars. Some sold overpriced "I survived the invasion" t-shirts. Street musicians wrote songs mocking the Overlords, streaming them live to millions. Humor cloaked fear, but beneath the laughter was steel. Humanity had rehearsed for extinction before: wars, plagues, disasters. This was just another curtain call. In the Overlord war chamber, debate fractured. Some pushed for immediate orbital strikes. Others counseled caution. Eldritch Sayer, his gravelly voice steady, warned, "You see only weakness. I see predators disguised as jesters. Their laughter is not fear, it is teeth." Vadran silenced him with a snarl. "I will peel that laughter from their throats." But even as he spoke, unease gnawed the edges of the assembly. For the first time in generations, an empire built on inevitability felt the weight of uncertainty. Back on Earth, Marcus reviewed a tactical map glowing with red markers of alien fleets. His aide asked softly, "Sir, what if they bring everything?" Marcus leaned back, exhaled, and smiled faintly. "Then we give them everything too. The difference is, we've been preparing for this moment our whole lives. They've only been preparing for victory." He closed the map, his expression calm, polite, almost bored. Yet behind that mask lived a razor's edge of calculation. "Let them come closer," he murmured. "After all, prey doesn't smile like this unless it's already picked the place it wants to bite." The Overlord fleets descended. Their dreadnoughts, black as obsidian, blotted out constellations. Plasma batteries glowed like miniature suns, casting shadows across the night sky. From every city on Earth, millions looked up and saw fire coiling in orbit. This was how empires broke worlds, through spectacle. On the command ship, Vadron's Wrath, Lord Vadron prepared to make Earth an example. His voice thundered across the fleet channel. "Burn their defenses. Reduce their cities to ash. Let them understand what it means to defy the Overlords." Thousands of alien throats roared their assent. But Earth had been waiting. As the first barrage streaked downward, the skies shimmered. Civilian satellites, long dismissed as junk, shifted trajectory with eerie precision. Hidden panels unfolded, revealing arrays never catalogued by alien scouts. Beams lanced upward, converging in surgical arcs. The lead Overlord destroyer, armed to erase New Delhi, convulsed as its power grid fried in seconds. Its engines flared, then died, leaving the vessel drifting helplessly. In the NORAD bunker, cheers erupted. Operators clapped hands, adrenaline surging. General Hargrave barked, "First blood's ours. Keep pressure on those flanks." Marcus Kane stood calmly at the center of the room, arms folded. "They're waiting for panic. Give them silence instead." The operators straightened, restraining their cheers. The bunker hummed again with quiet control. In orbit, confusion spread. An Overlord captain shouted into comms, "Our vanguard is down!" "How? What did they use?" Another ship reeled as guidance systems scrambled, its missiles spinning back toward their own formation. Two frigates collided in a fiery chain reaction. Lord Vadron slammed his fist into the armrest. "Counter their weapons! Find their batteries!" But scans revealed nothing conventional. To the Overlords, it looked like Earth had turned its own debris field into a minefield. Marcus's aide Alvarez leaned close. "Sir, they'll figure out our decoy satellites eventually." Marcus's lips curved faintly. "Of course. That's the point. Once they think they've solved the puzzle, we'll hand them another one." On the fleet command channel, Aldert Sayre's gravelly voice broke through the chaos. "Listen to me. This is no accident. They have prepared for us. Every step we take is already within their script." Vadron snarled. "You give vermin too much credit." But Sayre's eyes narrowed, ancient instincts prickling. "Then tell me, why do they still smile?" The Overlords retaliated with fury. Plasma cannons lit the atmosphere, incinerating ocean surfaces, vaporizing clouds into boiling storms. Explosions thundered across the Pacific. In Los Angeles, glass shattered as shockwaves rolled through skyscrapers. In Tokyo, citizens crowded subways while emergency sirens howled. The world braced for annihilation. And yet, still, human broadcasts continued. News anchors reported destruction in steady voices. Online, videos appeared of civilians waving at alien ships with signs, "Try harder." The Empire expected despair. What they saw was defiance wrapped in gallows humor. Aboard Vadron's Wrath, the Overlord warlord's temper boiled. "They mock us even as they die." One officer trembled. "My lord, perhaps they do not intend to die." In the bunker, General Hargrave traced new trajectories. "We can't block every strike. Casualties will mount." Marcus nodded grimly. "True. But survival was never the objective." The room stilled. Alvarez frowned. "Then what is?" Marcus's gaze fixed on the star map, cold calculation gleaming in his eyes. "Positioning. We need them closer. Overconfidence is a better weapon than any missile." As if on cue, Vadron ordered his fleets deeper into orbit, closing the noose. The trap's jaws tightened. Human counterstrikes intensified. Swarms of drones launched from hidden silos across Siberia, the Sahara, and beneath Pacific waters. Some were barely larger than birds, others the size of airliners. They darted unpredictably, striking weak points, retreating into clouds, then striking again. Alien calms filled with panic. They are everywhere. In the atmosphere, in the seas. Shields collapsing. My squadron is gone. In Washington, Marcus stood before the President and Military Council. He remained impeccably polite, his tone measured, almost bored. Their fleets bleed faster than they realize. By tomorrow, half their dreadnoughts will be limping. By the next day, they'll wonder if conquering us was worth it. The President asked quietly. And when they retaliate with full force? Marcus's smile sharpened. Then we show them what full force really looks like. Eldrick Sayre watched reports stream across alien channels, ships falling, formations breaking, human laughter still echoing from intercepted transmissions. He felt cold dread. He whispered to himself, unheard in the uproar. This is not prey. This is a predator feigning weakness until its teeth find the throat. The Empire had underestimated Earth. But worse, they had underestimated time. For while Overlord fleets rained fire, human fleets were not in orbit. They were elsewhere. Hidden. Waiting. Marcus knew. He had been waiting for this convergence for years. Every joke, every smile, every ridiculous civilian meme, it all led here. The Overlords thought they had invaded Earth. In truth, they had been invited. Back in NORAD, Alvarez finally asked what others whispered. Sir, were we ever actually defending? Marcus turned, his expression cool. Defense is for the desperate. We are not desperate. He leaned close, voice soft, almost a whisper, though every ear in the bunker strained to hear. This isn't a defense. This is staging. Above Earth, as alien fleets closed tighter, the stars behind them shimmered. Strange distortions rippled through the void. Sensors screamed warnings. At first, the Overlords thought it was an anomaly. Then shapes emerged. Vast, angular silhouettes decloaked, human warships, black as midnight, crawling out of the asteroid belt. Some bristled with rail cannons the size of skyscrapers. Others pulsed with eerie blue energy, experimental drives glowing like captured suns. The hidden armada had been waiting. Vadran stared in disbelief as ship after ship lit up his displays. Dozens. Hundreds. No, impossible, he hissed. They were primitives. His words faltered. The truth was undeniable. Humanity had lured them here, into a carefully prepared kill zone. On Earth, Marcus Kane adjusted his cuffs, calm as ever. The curtain rises, he said softly. Act 2 begins. The council chamber looked nothing like a battlefield. Polished obsidian floors, golden pillars, banners stitched with alien sigils. But it had become one all the same. The Galactic Overlords sat at their curved thrones, their voices sharpened like blades, demanding Earth's surrender. Daniel Cole sat at the negotiation table, perfectly composed. His uniform looked modest compared to the lavish robes of his hosts. His smile, light, courteous, carried none of the thunder he held in reserve. Ambassador Cole, intoned High Regent Valor, his many-jointed fingers tightening around the arm of his throne. You have stalled long enough. The humans are surrounded. Your fleets are but gnats before us. Swear Earth's allegiance, and we will spare your species. Daniel inclined his head politely. I appreciate the offer, Regent. Truly. Generosity is a rare currency these days. His tone was warm, almost grateful. But then he added softer. Of course, humans tend to negotiate in different denominations. The council shifted uneasily. The subtext in his words carried weight. Different denominations. That could mean leverage, force, something hidden. Valor pressed on. Do not mistake patience for weakness. You face annihilation. Daniel leaned back slightly, clasping his hands. Annihilation? Interesting word. Do you know what humans do when someone tries to annihilate us? His smile widened. We take it, personally. A ripple of discomfort crossed the alien assembly. From the shadows above, a hollow screen bloomed alive. It wasn't alien imagery but human, an overhead view of fleets uncloaking around the galactic rim. Colossal warships, once rumored destroyed in ancient wars, appeared, engines glowing like caged suns. The council chamber gasped as one. "That's impossible!" hissed Chancellor Ryvak. "Those vessels were myths. Scrap buried in forgotten sectors." Daniel's voice remained calm, conversational, as though explaining a weather forecast. "Oh, we kept a few. Quietly. Under dust, behind ice, deep in black holes you thought uninhabitable. Humans have this funny habit of saving things for a rainy day." On screen, the ancient fleet opened fire. Alien outposts lit up in firestorms. The chamber shook as reports arrived, data feeds flooding in. Daniel continued in that polite, measured tone. "Your fleets thought Earth was surrounded. They never asked if maybe you were the one surrounded." The facade of diplomacy cracked. Shouts erupted. Some overlords accused others of withholding intelligence. Panic spread like fire in dry grass. Only Valor remained composed, though his mandibles twitched. "You've planned this trap for decades." Daniel chuckled softly, finally standing. "Decades? Regent, we've planned this for centuries. Humanity never forgets being threatened. We just smile while sharpening the knife." He stepped forward, letting silence punctuate his words. "You assumed humans were weak because we laughed too much, argue over sports, and binge terrible sitcoms. What you never grasped is that we turn everything, pain, loss, humiliation, into fuel. We don't collapse under weight, we weaponize it." The council froze at the shift. The warmth in his eyes had hardened into steel. Daniel pressed his palm against the hollow table, bringing up images of more fleets moving, stations collapsing, entire sectors falling into chaos. "This isn't Earth's survival anymore. This is balance being corrected." A terrified voice broke from the gallery. "You mean to conquer the galaxy?" Daniel tilted his head. "Conquer? No. That's your word. We prefer making sure no one tries this again." His gaze swept the chamber. "Think of it as preventive maintenance." Somewhere above, alarms blared. Security forces rushed in, but Daniel simply raised one finger. The overhead lights flickered, then died. When they returned, the soldiers' weapons were offline, jammed by human override codes slipped in weeks earlier. Daniel smirked. "You didn't think we'd walk into your heart without rewriting your locks, did you?" Valor stood, mandibles flaring. "You've revealed yourself as the galaxy's greatest threat. Every empire will unite against you." Daniel met his gaze evenly. "And yet they'll hesitate. Because for the first time, they'll wonder how many more human fleets are still hiding in the dark. How many more traps are already primed. Fear is a stronger leash than loyalty." The chamber erupted again. Half the council shouted for war. The other half whispered of surrender. None of them noticed Daniel slipping a small device onto the table. A quiet beep. A hollow map projected Earth's position, then rippled outward. A web of wormholes shimmered into existence, converging around the Overlords' territories. "You believed you mapped the galaxy," Daniel said softly, almost kindly. "You didn't map ours." The implication landed heavy. Humans hadn't just hidden fleets, they had rewritten the cartography of war itself. One overlord slumped in despair. "You've already won." Daniel shook his head. "Not yet. Winning implies an end. What we've set in motion doesn't end. It only teaches." He leaned closer, voice dropping into a whisper sharp enough to cut. "Lesson 1, never corner humanity." The doors burst open again, this time not with guards but with human officers in combat armor. They saluted Daniel briskly. "Ambassador," one said. "Control sectors 3 through 9 secured. Outer colonies already requesting terms." Daniel nodded, his calm composure never faltering. "Excellent. Tell them Earth is open for partnerships. But remind them, no one gets a second chance to point a knife at us." The overlords stared in disbelief. The human mask of politeness had cracked wide, revealing not savages but architects of vengeance. Daniel gave a final courteous bow, as though the meeting had been perfectly civil. "Thank you for your time, Regents. I trust we'll speak again, Assuming, of course, your communications grid survives the hour. With that, he turned, leading his officers out as the chamber descended into chaos. Alien leaders screamed, worlds fell, and across the stars one truth became undeniable. Earth's counterstrike had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.